Hi chess kids! You might have seen Tani's awesome games against a Harvard hustler, Grant Williams, and the tennis star, Roger Federer. Today, we're going to enjoy 3 of his best king attacks against grandmasters. In the first position, both kings have castled to the opposite side of the chessboard, setting the stage for an exciting race to a checkmate. It is Black's turn. What do you think Tani should do to prepare a winning attack? Did you find it? Tani played the move knight to c4. This move brings the knight into action and gets more pieces involved in the attack. But then, White made a mistake by using a bishop to take the knight, and that allowed Tani to open up the important b file for his rook. White player pushed g5, hoping to start his own pawn storm and open up the g file, but Tani didn't pay much attention to it and played the move rook a to b8, sticking to his own plan. The grandmaster slid his rook over to g1, aiming at the black king. If he had taken the f6 pawn, Tani would have responded just like he did in the real game. This approach is a little bit slow. Tani's attack is faster. What is the best move for black in this position? Did you find it? It is rook takes b2, an amazing move, sacrificing the rook to break apart the white's queen side. In the actual game, White captured the rook with queen to b2. That enabled Black to create a pin and eventually led to a winning position due to the material advantage. If White had taken the rook with the king, that would lead to a checkmate after queen a3 and then rook to b8. Let's move on to the next position. Tani, playing with the black pieces, is in a situation where the game is pretty balanced, but things are about to shift in just 5 moves. Can you guess the move Tani made to start an attack on the king's side? It is h5. He's setting up for a hot file attack, something Fun Master Mike really likes. Why? Well, when you open up that line, you are likely to become an attacker. White responded with f4, which turns out to be a mistake because it actually makes it easier for Black to attack the king. But before Tani starts the attack, he reinforces the position with rook a to e8, and after bishop to f3, Tani improves his bishop and the rook, while White doesn't have much to do other than waiting with rook f2. The stage is set for our hot file attack theme, h4. If the pawn captures the pawn, we can snatch the f4 pawn, setting up a devastating attack. So White slides the queen over to h1, trying to defend the king with more pieces, but it is already too late. H takes g3. This move undermines the defense of the f4 pawn and attacks the rook on f2. In the actual game, White decided to sacrifice the rook and play the move queen to h4 and had to resign after g takes f2. Taking the pawn with the king wouldn't help as well, because the game is lost after queen takes f4, and after all the trades on f3, the white king is vulnerable to the future attack. For example, the game might have continued after queen f4 and rook f2, which leads to a checkmate. In our last example, we will see how Tani makes up an attack on the trapped queen and the king, sort of a combined attack on both of White's royal pieces. The white queen doesn't have many safe moves. Almost all of the squares on the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th rank are attacked by the black's pieces. There is only a6 and a7 available for the queen. So Tani started with rook to e7, making the queen hide on a6. His plan was to play the move queen to b8 and then rook to a7. Unfortunately, this idea doesn't work because the queen can sacrifice herself for 2 rooks and black doesn't have an advantage. Tani decided to maintain the tension, as Aaron Nimzovich liked to say. The threat is stronger than the execution, so he played the move pawn to b3. Brilliant move, threatening a familiar queen b8, rook to a7. The grandmaster responded with f4, so Tani followed through with queen b8, and now White played the move pawn to e5 to open up the position, and after rook a7, White prepared the move queen to d6. Both sides exchanged pawns on e5, and now Black is already in a winning position. Notice this powerful battery aiming at the white king. Surprisingly, there is also rook e6 threat that would win the queen. White played the move rook to e1, and now Tani shifted from the attack on the queen to the attack on the king. Bishop takes h2 check, king to h1, and now can you spot the move that will continue the attack for black? Rook to h5, with some sneaky attack threats. With tension already high, White made a mistake and played the pawn to g4. Can you spot Tani's winning move now? It is bishop to g1, the square clearance. The game finished after king takes bishop and then checkmate with the queen. If White decides to play the move king to g2, the game would also end after queen h2 check and then rook to h3 checkmate.